going on, fight fans? I was just having a conversation. I've been having a conversation with a couple guys concerning Ryan Bader. And I really hate Twitter sometimes because people, I think it's due to the limited nature of Twitter, being only 280 characters, and it was even worse when it was 140 characters, but people mischaracterize your arguments. On Ryan Bader, props to him, great fight last night against Fedor, and great fights, after the Anthony Johnson loss. And I was bucking back at the idea that Ryan Bader's made this vast improvement. I saw, I think it was Adam Martin. I respect him, but journalists sometimes put out these narratives of this person's improved so much since this fight, since the last time they lost. It's no, they haven't always improved since the last time they lost. You know what's different between Ryan Bader before and after the Anthony Johnson fight? He hasn't fought Anthony Johnson again. He hasn't fought anybody as good as Anthony Johnson. So it doesn't mean that he's improved. I mean, not to say that he hasn't made some marginal improvements here or there, whatever the case is, but he hasn't fought somebody nearly the level of what Anthony Johnson brought to the table the night that he lost to him, right? So the idea that he's made this vast improvement, everybody can look great against lesser guys, right? I actually think it's a smart move to go to your Bellators and to these other MMA promotions where if you can make near as much as you can make in the UFC, why fight all these top-notch guys when you can fight lesser guys for about the same money or even greater money? Why do all this heavy lifting if you can go out here and look spectacular against lesser guys? But then don't come and craft some narrative about, this person is so much more better than he was. No, come on, man. So it's annoying. That's why I made this little rant here, because I'm just tired of trying to get you guys to understand me in 280 characters at a time. And then what really pisses me off is when you guys are losing an argument, you start putting words in my mouth. Ryan Bader doesn't suck. I never said he sucked. I said he hasn't really made that many improvements. He's just fighting lesser guys. It's as simple as that. Ryan Bader was a hell of a fighter before the Anthony Johnson fight, and he's a hell of a fighter after the Anthony Johnson fight. If you guys don't remember, he was arguing for the fact that, hey, he should be able to sit and wait for a title shot. And you know the way the UFC is sometimes, especially when you've lost to somebody like a John Jones and you lost convincingly, which he did the first time. It's you got to do just over and above before you get another shot at the guy. And so that's what happened. The UFC wouldn't give him the title shot after all those wins he had in a row leading up to the Johnson fight, and they forced him to take that fight. He didn't want the fight, and obviously you can understand why. But he's been a hell of a fighter. He was on a hell of a run before the Johnson fight, and he's just going back on a run now that he's not fighting the likes of Anthony Johnson. So again, I'm not saying that he's not a great fighter. He is, clearly he is. But just because you're fighting lesser fighters and you get great results doesn't mean that you've improved. It just means that you stop fighting that great elite fighter.